This is Daryl Evans with Kings Vision at LAKings.com with Kings insider John Rosen. Game 3 of the series, Game 1 here at Staples Center. The Kings get to come back home, an environment that they've been very comfortable in all year. As we watch the morning skate today, it seems like there's a lot of energy on the ice, which is a good sign. I think being in the environment, being in the atmosphere of just being at home, it's a good feeling for the Kings.
Yeah, and it's good because they need to win tonight. Teams that fall behind 2-0 in a series only come back to win roughly 13% of the time. The Kings have done it before. In best-of-7 series, the Kings do have one win amongst 9 losses. That one win back in 2001 against the Detroit Red Wings. Kings dropped the first 2 games in Detroit, won 4 straight. They know they can do it. They've had that success against St. Louis in the regular season and in the playoffs last year when they won 4 straight against the Blues. But the Kings' 19 home wins here in the regular season, certainly this was where they played their best hockey. They didn't seem too tight. They didn't seem too tense yesterday at practice. Looking forward to getting into the locker room, seeing how they feel as they got to come out and pull a W out here this evening.
So what you're saying, there's a chance. Of course there is. The Kings are back home here again very well. They've played at home ice all season. And we look at Daryl Sutter this morning. It seems to be like there's some new combinations on the ice, in particular back on defense. A couple of things that stand out. Alec Martinez is paired up with Rob Scuderi. Keaton Ellerby is paired up with Matt Green. Those are possibilities, combinations we might see tonight. If I was guessing, I would say probably looking like Alec Martinez will be in the lineup along with the veteran Rob Scuderi. Scuderi will move over to the right side. It still eliminates the Kings having from the 3 left-handed shooting defensemen with the 3 right-handers. Not sure whether or not Matt Green is quite ready to get in there yet, but it looks like there's going to be a personnel change back in the blue line.
Yeah, really right now the only thing that seems to be certain is that Doughty will start out with Robin Regehr this evening. This could be Alec Martinez's first time getting back into the lineup. Of course, you remember last year during the playoffs he had that terrific third pairing alongside Matt Green. Green still TBA. We're going to find out probably a little bit more in just a few minutes. We'll have updates, obviously, at LAKingsInsider.com. But Alec Martinez, that's something that the Kings are looking for in this series. He's able to push the puck, be aggressive, get the puck quickly up to the forwards. He's able to skate the puck. He's got good wheels. So I know there have been a lot of people who have been hoping to see perhaps an Alec Martinez appearance here in this series. Could be tonight, Game 3, against the St. Louis Blues.
And I think as you get on into a series, you're going to find the bumps and bruises do take their toll, and it's not a bad thing to interchange some of the players. Alec Martinez, a lot of experience having played last year in the Kings Stanley Cup run. Again, you're right, the things that he can bring, he can push the puck up the ice. He's got good instincts in the offensive zone. And if it is Keaton Ellerby who's not in the lineup, again, just a little bit more experience. Keaton Ellerby, I thought in Game 2 adjusted his game nicely, but only time will tell. We'll see what happens at game time. But aside from the personnel that's in the lineup, I think the Kings, what they have to do is they've got to focus, get out there, and execute their game plan. I think this is a game they really have to dictate. They've got to push the envelope a little bit. They've got to take the game to St. Louis, and that's got to go right from the get-go. Anytime that you do come back to home ice and you have an environment like the Kings will have here at Staples Center, sometimes you can be over-energized. The Kings are going to have to watch that as well. They don't want to get themselves too engaged where they start taking penalties early in the game.
Yeah, well, one thing that they have going for them is that they've had good starts here at Staples Center over the course of the season. You remember earlier games against the San Jose Sharks, several games here at Staples where they've been able to go out, get early first period goals, games against Colorado, against Columbus, really that seemed to be their MO in the month of April. So if they were able to go out there, really dictate the play early, I mean, what they're looking for is an early goal too. A 5-on-5 goal would help this team. LA still looking for its first 5-on-5 goal this series. That would be something that would, maybe you'd loosen up the grip on the stick just a little bit there. Hopefully with one goal from the Kings' perspective, if it comes, open up the barriers and a couple more could flow.
And being able to open up the barriers with the Kings having a last change here on home ice, I think one of the keys to this hockey game is Anze Kopitar getting involved offensively. I think he's been solid defensively in the series, but I think this is really a game where they're going to look to Kopitar to go out there and take charge. Daryl Sutter will have those matchups. We're not sure what the matchups will be. We'll take a look at that come game time, but this is an opportunity for Kopitar really to get himself engaged in this series. Again, his teammates need him. In order for this hockey club to have success and come back in this series against the Blues, Kopitar is going to have to figure on the score sheet.
Absolutely, and when you saw back in St. Louis, oftentimes when Daryl Sutter would put the Kopitar line out there, automatically Ken Hitchcock puts out the David Backes line with Jaden Schwartz to his left and Alex Steen to his right. You still might see a lot of that. I would expect to see a lot of that here this evening, but in certain types of the game, certain face-offs when the Kings are in their attacking end, especially after St. Louis icings. The Kings do have the ability now to be able to get that Kopitar lineup, match up who they want out there against St. Louis's lines. So, you look at Kopitar, you look at Jeff Carter, also somebody who's been held off the score sheet in 4 consecutive games dating back to the regular season. 2 guys that the Kings are looking to get going. Those are 2 guys definitely capable of providing that even strength scoring.
And the Kings will have to have their legs going early on. They like to put the Blues a little bit more in a penalty situation. The Kings are going to have to drive to the net. That's where some of the goals are scored, and a lot of times it's the ugly goals. But you look at the one that St. Louis scored the other night in the 3rd period to get themselves going. It was just a simple play, bodies driving to the net. Daryl Setter's trying to encourage his hockey club to do more of that. Involve 5 guys on the attack. The defense have to come up. You don't want to see that gap. The Kings are at their best when they're connected as 5 on the attack and when they're connected as 5 on the defense.
And that's really the key, especially when the Kings are looking to avoid the forecheck. We talked earlier in the week with the Kings about that. Mike Richards was talking about how you want to have, and Robin Regier also mentioned this too, that you want to have the 5 players. You don't want to spread them out too much. You want those shorter passes when you're looking to break out. You don't want the entire width of the ice passes when you're going up against a very heavy forecheck like St. Louis has. So Kings looking to do that, and like you said just moments ago, get into the ice, parts of the ice where goals are scored. One of my favorite terms in hockey, the greasy goal, the ugly one, where you're driving the net. If you have enough bodies in front, going to the parts on the ice where goals are scored, you're going to get goals like Patrick Berglund had in the 3rd period to tie the game back in Game 2. Goals off deflections, goals where it just deflects off, caroms off somebody's skate. LA looking to get those guys in high percentage areas of the ice, right around the net, and like you saw what happened with St. Louis, once that first one comes, there are going to be more coming from even strength.
Well, tonight's game, Game 3 of the series with the Kings trailing 2-0 to St. Louis, should be a great one. Kings trying to get themselves back in this series and make a series of it. For Daryl Evans, John Rosen, for Kings Vision at lakings.com, Game 3, Staples Center tonight.